Alright guys, here we are to talk about episode 28, season 1 of The Twilight Zone as it appears on Netflix.
Yep.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Ooh, interesting.
Did you not enjoy this episode?
I did enjoy it, but I assumed that you would not.
No, this one made me think. I was like, this is hell? Would I even hate this?
Okay, that's...
I think I would love this.
That's literally funny. I should have written it down and been like, Amazing Kreskin, taking it out and been like, because I feel like you would be like, no, all my favorite things forever, that's what I want. And it would just be
that's
like...
all I want.
So you'd be like, this is bullshit. This episode...
I can't even
there's
imagine.
no point to this episode.
And like, he didn't explore it enough because the man was a man of like simple vices, so like it was easy to get bored. Like if your game is like, I like to flip a coin and see how often I get heads, and you only get heads, yeah, you're gonna be like, fuck, this game sucks now.
Sure.
But like, why not go to the movies or watch TV or do like any of the things you could do? You seem to have bountiful people to play with. Like,
no, I know.
I don't know why he was playing like solitaire games. Like, why would you ever be like, all right, I have unlimited money. Let me keep putting quarters in this goddamn machine.
No, and like my thing, I was wondering if like, because the guy kept saying like, well, do you like it? Is it okay? We can do that. Well, I suppose, and all that stuff. So I'm like, can you just keep like resetting it into like a new thing? Because that would last for a while, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to stick with the same casino all the time. You could do other things if you want.
You could do it like go swimming.
I'd like to be on a sailboat in the middle of an endless ocean.
You could
and also, I can breathe underwater and punch sharks and just like do whatever you want.
I feel like
right?
the moment he called it out though, where he notices what's happening and he's like this is I want to go to the other place. Heaven's not for me. I think at that moment it would no longer be this good thing where you could choose. I think the moment you are like self-realizing you're in hell, that Mr. Pip, who was like your butler, you know, his humble Fats,
hey Fats, get over here,
would be like, no longer would he do anything for him, and like those girls would now be stabbing him for all eternity or something.
Right, so I didn't know if that was implied or like what we were supposed to take it as, but I love that the episode ends on him going, no, and then the fucking Colonel Sanders just cackling, just like laughing like a crazy person. That really fucking made it for me. This fucking Orson Welles amazing dude, just like going nuts. I was like, oh, it's great. It's fucking great.
It made me think though, what would my ultimate hell be?
I didn't prepare this. I have no idea.
Well, I was thinking, I'm like, well, I like making videos and stuff for people to watch, and I'm like, if there were no people, I'm like, I wouldn't really like making videos just for myself potentially. I'm like, I guess
you've got 1 billion views again. And you're like, oh no, I wanted were views, and now we just have all the views. Fuck.
But, like, he does have, like, they're essentially, like, slaves. All the people that get concocted are figments of his imagination, seemingly. So I could have a huge cast and make something ridiculous that I could just watch.
Yeah, no, I don't... So, like, I think what's implied here, and, like, because they say that the time frame, it says, like, a month, right?
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a month. There's no kick, there's no jazz, there's no thing in the game or whatever, right? Is like, you know, I think for us, or for, like, you know, like, because you called him out, like, well, your shit sucks. Of course.
Yeah.
You only had the same 3 women the whole time. Of course it sucks. So, like, I think the implication is that for other people it might take thousands of years, but eventually you'd be like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And, like, that's hell or something.
But people are like that about
like
their
the
real
idea.
lives. At least in this, it's like, oh, right, I can do whatever I want. I snap my finger and there's Chinese food. Like,
it's definitely...
And I could eat it all day without getting sick, presumably.
It's definitely a step up, and that's the part that I think was overlooked or whatever.
He lives like a fucking king.
And it would get, like, boring, or there'd be no purpose,
but
or
like,
something like that.
What is the purpose of life? Like,
yeah,
I don't know if that
I mean.
argument holds water with me. I think I would be fine with this, especially with knowing that he can go anywhere and like do anything.
And you're ostensibly immortal, and like,
because you're dead.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, there's no like, oh no, or something like that. Or you could just, or that could be your thing. I take a shot in the fucking head. All right, and he just fucking like does it. Well, that sucks. All right, what's we're doing tomorrow?
I want to
and just keep trying things over and over again.
50 new friends. I want to see how many I can one-punch knock out. And you're just lining up, hitting people all day.
Right. Well, because I don't know, the way that it's framed, it doesn't seem quite as horrible, right? And, like, it seems to be a lot better than being dead, depending on what you think being dead is.
Yeah,
right?
or
so
or the hell fine. I would imagine, where you're tied and tortured forever.
Yeah, where your bones are ground to dust and then put back into bones and put back inside of you over and over again or whatever. Yeah, that sounds horrible. My bones.
There was like hell, and if I'm remembering it correctly, in Angel, the character Gunn gets put in like this hell dimension, and his hell dimension is he has like the perfect life, and like has like a 9 to 5 job, and then like at like 5 gets home, sees like the wife is making food, gives a kiss to the kids, and then just goes into the basement where he's tortured.
Every day forever?
Every day, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So he gets a taste of being happy, and then ripped into like horribly tortured.
Yeah, there's an awesome thing in Sandman where Sandman has to get some like revenge on someone, and he does that thing where they keep waking up forever to them or whatever. And they keep being like, oh god, that was horrible, and like he's like living in this dream world. He's like living out lives and like eternities, and he's waking up as an old man and as a young man and going back and forth, and it's just lost in this endless sea of nightmares.
Is that even a nightmare to have unlimited lives, essentially?
He doesn't know, and he keeps thinking that he really woke up this time. And it's just like he just trolls him, and endlessly. And in reality, he's in like a coma.
But he gets a full life each time.
I don't know.
That sounds lovely.
No. It's not. It's not like a full life. It's like it picks up somewhere and then becomes horrible, and then he wakes up again, and it keeps happening or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that's a little worse.
But there's no way of like knowing, and he's like forgotten if he's even an old man or a young man, or if he's even here or there or whatever, because it's so lost in it. It's great.
Who writes the script for those though? And I don't mean for Sandman the plot. I mean for that guy. What is generating each world that he wakes up into each time? I feel like that would take a lot of work on Sandman's part.
Sandman's magical.
Yeah, so
Sandman's one of the 7 endless.
Yeah.
But in this, his like butler dude. What does Pip mean? Did I miss something obvious? Ah, fuck.
What I did realize is this is the worst criminal in the world.
Sure.
So it opens up. Let's just start back for the things that made me mad and work our way forward.
Okay.
So he's on Earth. He's alive. He's robbing a place. There's a man as he's pocketing all the shit. And by pocketing, I mean he's putting it into a paper bag.
Paper or plastic?
It was paper bag, which is the worst thing ever to put your getaway merchandise in.
Sure.
Then he stops because he sees a ring, takes his glove off, and puts the ring on. And I'm like, I did not recall this episode, so I'm trying to guess what the thing is.
I didn't remember any.
And I'm like, oh, is this gonna make him like magic or live forever or something? Be
careful what you wish for. The ring of ring destiny.
Something.
Sure.
But no, that would be interesting. But no. Then he puts the glove back on. The cops are coming. He runs. As he gets outside, he dumps the bag over. He doesn't just drop it. He literally just dumps everything out of it almost, losing it all. Which at that point I'm like, God damn it! You should have filmed that again. That looked really fake. That part was bad, and he's just the worst criminal ever. But then B, he the cops are more aggressive than ever before, as far as I understand.
They're fucking shooting at him.
They're shooting at him from the jump.
They're shooting at him from the car.
Yeah.
Stop, you! Give back those things you just dropped. And yeah, trying to fucking shoot him.
Then he's pretty much on top of the fence. He can make one more lunge to jump over it. He turns and goes, "Hey, you screws, take one of these!" And he fires his gun. Then takes what felt like an eternity to put it back into his belt to then make the jump and to get shot in the back to where the hole only displays from the front.
Yeah. There's no visible gunshots, but I forgive them that or whatever. No, the whole thing was clumsy and weird. I wrote down he's gunned down in the alley ! Type of thing, because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was very weird, but it's fine. I think him being the worst criminal ever is part of it or something like that.
Probably. It's just it's something that the way it was done. I think you could have showed he was the worst criminal without making it look like a cinema sin.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't even notice the thing with the bag. I wasn't paying attention yet. I was just on the lookout for whatever the fuck, the interesting parts or something like that. I really like, though, that when he meets Mr. Pip or whatever, at that point, this could be your guardian angel or St. Peter or some shit like that, right? And he proceeds to
hold him up.
essentially mug that guy or something like that. Which is, I think, kind of awesome to me, in a way.
Well, the trauma of getting shot 1 second earlier made him forget that he was shot at all for a week.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, and the way he acts about the whole thing is very weird. He has a weird attitude, and it's obviously because he's not a smart character.
I know
that he acts this way. So I'm not going to say that it was a bad that part of it was bad. I think the character's just an idiot, and that makes sense.
Sure. And he was an idiot. And I want them to remake this where he's played by Bruce Campbell. The whole time I kept thinking that, because he's vaguely whatever the fuck Bruce is, Italian or something? I don't know.
I guess.
I kept being like, I want to see Bruce Campbell. That's it. Yeah, I'm going here, doing this, doing that shit.
But I have no sense of style, and grabs a tie. But like, yeah, from the beginning when the guy knows all those little details about you from a little book, you wouldn't be like, this is probably some magic shit.
Oh, yeah, no, like...
He's giving me all this shit. There's something to this. Oh, it's your boss. Put him to la. Oh, you can't meet him yet.
No,
Which implies he will eventually meet him, his boss being the devil. So I think that it can't be an eternity of just being in that, like, beautiful hell, like heaven-hell room.
Well, okay, but that's where I'm, to go back to the meta discussion for a moment here, like, the ending Rod Serling bit, I, like, noted it. It's like he has everything he ever wanted, and now he has to live with it for eternity. Like, I think that, like, the writing is trying to imply that this is the hell, is that you just have whatever you want, but it's not good or something like that. But yes, like the characterization stuff, him cackling and the like door being locked seemingly, right? Like that's communicating to me the opposite, that like like you are fucked in some other way, right? Like,
I would extrapolate that it's gonna get worse from here. I feel like the moment you know you're in hell becomes much more hellish.
I don't know.
And even if it's something slow that gets worse and worse, because isn't that honestly the better way to do it? Is to like ease into how shitty something is. Like so, like what if just every day for the next 40 days it goes up 1 degree in temperature every day, and then just stays there. It's now 100 degrees
forever.
all the time.
Sure.
And then like what like the room you're in slowly starts getting smaller until it's and like the women who are his concubines or whatever, they get slowly more aggressive and they can't be killed and
slowly more into rotting corpses that are killing you.
Yeah.
No, I know, and that would be awesome. And if they'd done any of that, that would be awesome. But
it's implied.
No, nothing's implied.
Implode.
No, and like. He literally says he has everything he ever wanted and he has to live with it forever. It doesn't say he has he thought he had everything he ever wanted and now he's not going to have it anymore and it's going to be like normal hell.
That's to ease its way into it. Baby steps.
Something's clearly turned, but there were no steps of any kind, in this.
No.
I would like it if that were the case, because I'd like him to be punished, because he seems like a much worse character even than he was supposed to be. They drop it in very casually, but when they read his file, they mention that he like tortured or slaughtered or at the very least killed a dog that like fucked with him, which is like a classic sign of like being like a young fucking psychopath or sociopath or whatever the fuck. Which I don't think a lot of like jewel thieves like fucked tortured animals when they were kids. I feel like that's
but like when you say
like a much worse character.
Thief, I picture a person who, like a cat burglar, slinks into the house unknown,
not
gets
a good
jewelry.
Jewel thief.
He like bludgeoned that man and stole his stuff. So like there's a difference there. He has a what would you like a tendency for violence?
Je ne sais quoi. Something how you say. I don't know. Fucking, it doesn't make sense to me or whatever the fuck. Because you could have made him stealing something else or whatever, like roughing people up, making him a jewel thief, but also making him like a horrible, brutish, like bad jewel thief. I don't know if they just had jewels lying around they wanted to use.
I think it would take. How long do you think it would take you in that world, even under his normal circumstances that we saw, would it take you to get like ridiculously bored and go crazy?
Hundreds of years.
Right?
Like 7,000 years or something like that. Like I'd be like, I'd like a cello. And then he'd be like, okay, and you're the best cello. Oh nope, don't let me, because he offers to like let him lose sometime. So I'd be like, I'd like a cello. Don't make me able to play it like automatically. And he'd be like, fuck. And I would just fuck with the cello for like, I don't know, hundreds of years.
Yeah, until you become awesome at it.
Just for fun, and it's like, well, it's not fun because there's no one to ever enjoy. I don't play guitar for other people. I play for myself.
No, but the flip side is with something like that, being the best would not even make it bad. Like it would be like, all right, let me get a guitar, and you're the best guitar player ever. All right, and then like it's a skill that while you're awesome at it is new to you. Yeah, you would have fun with that for a while.
Yeah, I would be conscious of the fact that like I don't want to skip to the end or whatever on too many things or something like that.
I think if you gave me the option right now, do you want to skip to the end on everything? I'd be like, yeah, I want to be the best at everything. Let's just do that right now.
But that's the crux of the problem that's presented by this episode, is that if you're automatically the best at everything, that's it's like much quicker to get bored at it or like whatever the fuck.
I think if you just find something that interests you, when like if you're just like, all right, and I'm now the best at parkour, all right, and just going fucking ham and doing something. Yeah, all right, give me a soccer ball. All right, now I'm the best, and you're just fucking juggling a soccer ball for a while.
But that's what this episode's designed to like demonstrate. Is like that's awesome. And then it's slowly becomes like, because you're good at things right now.
Yeah, and I do them on purpose all the time because of that.
No, you don't skateboard
all
anymore.
the time. That's because I'm crippled.
No, like people stopped doing you stop doing things because it's like you're not, like you can walk. You have like legs that work.
Sure.
But you're not like, oh, this is awesome. You're just like, I have to fucking go walk over there and do that, right?
No, there's a huge difference.
Like it makes it suck.
I think is that this man, all the things he picked are like games. So there's a winner and a loser.
No, his
things terrible things. If you pick something that's just fun, like if you were to pick a video game, but you picked a video game that's like a shooter or something where you're just like killing your friends or something, you're like, okay, I just won, the game's over, this isn't fun at all, I just win all the time. But if you picked a game where it's like, no, it's a story mode, I'm really good at it, you still have the story, it's still something that's fun to do.
Yes, but like the point is that things get old, we get sick of things, they get boring, doing the same thing all the time would not continue to be good or whatever the fuck. That's like the argument.
I don't know. I
tend
to disagree because there are so many things in the world to experience that I think like just being good at them.
But the time is infinite, so you would eventually get bored no matter what.
Yeah, then you would be like doing combos of things. You'd be like grinding like the world's longest rail you can make exist because you have a fucking genie while playing a guitar with a long cord.
Yes.
Like, how far can I make this whole thing go?
Right, but then add another infinity of years. Like eventually it gets boring, and that's the point.
But boring, I'm bored a lot anyway. I don't think that would stop me.
That's a whole different argument. So, like, eventually it would get boring and maybe suck, but it wouldn't suck relative to being in a human body and, like, affected by disease and, like, bad things, right? It would be, like, a step up to be immortal and bored all the time or whatever, right?
I think being there are so many outside variables you have the control over here.
Infinity makes all that irrelevant.
Things. No, but you have infinity options on top of infinity because you can keep changing your world. There's never it's like when you have when your parents are like, you have so many things, how could you be bored?
Go outside, play with your friends.
Like understandably, yes, you can have a boring day until you think of something better to do, but because you could keep changing the environment, like the world's best skateboarders, just because you brought that example up, like skate all around the world, different places. Yeah. They're just as awesome wherever they go. And yes, they have the chance of falling, but if they didn't fall, they'd still be having a great ass time. You could keep inventing skate parks that are impossible, and because you can't fall, just have the like on a roller coaster. You can never fall or lose at a roller coaster, but you enjoy the ride.
But if you rode the same roller coaster, or even an infinite number of roller coasters, but you're limited by your imagination at that point. You can't, eventually, even the act of thinking up a new roller coaster itself would become boring. Like with infinity time.
Yes, if you were only ever trying to make a roller coaster. That's my point here, is that you could then switch to something else and else.
Until even the idea of thinking of a new thing becomes boring. Like everything.
Then there's always just sex.
But then after you've done all the sex,
back to skateboarding.
So all the things.
I feel like there's so many things that you could never be bored.
That's why I would take the deal, because I believe that I could keep coming up with things or like whatever the fuck. But I've never been alive for infinity trying to think of things or whatever.
That's the problem I want.
And that is a challenge that I'm willing to accept or whatever. But like the premise that is laid out by this episode is that you would eventually get bored, and that if you got everything you wanted, it would become meaningless.
Nothing would make me happier than to really piss off the devil and him go, this motherfucker's happy all the time.
No, and this is an episode that falls flat for that reason, unless if they had leaned harder into implying that this was just a ruse and now you're in real hell or something like that. But even then, the ending voiceover saying he'll have it for eternity makes me think
it didn't turn,
it's not
potentially.
That. So I'm like, fuck. But the guy laughing, it's very weird to me. I still like this episode though.
I like the episode.
I liked the main guy's performance, and I really liked Colonel Sanders. Butler devil.
I would require him as my butler devil. I also like Fats. I think Fats is a cool nickname.
I liked you lousy screw for cops or whatever the fuck, and a nice old timey without being like, meh. See, it was.
But isn't it funny? like there are cops in his heaven.
Yeah.
And he can fuck with them, and that's part of why I think it's his heaven. Like
instead of his hell or whatever?
Yeah.
The whole, we have to mention the midget cop part, and I'll stop saying midget now, I guess. But that was crazy. He fucking turns, that's like, what? And you don't even see his face, like they're kind of ashamed of it or whatever.
He's like, your hat doesn't fit.
Blow or something.
Yeah, like things like that, because you can make like fucking so many options and people and things.
He shouldn't get bored in a month. That's a sign of like a limited like person. I wonder if like the way hell works though, if they know it would take you so long to get bored, you don't get this type of hell or whatever.
That's probably true.
Because otherwise he'd be like, well, he's on to this game. Like he's not going to work for him. Hell always gets you in the end.
Yeah.
Baskin-Robbins always knows.
I wonder how much play you have, because he's like, I can make you lose every once in a while. I wonder if you could say, I want like figure out what the normal odds of the game are. Like, I want to lose this many this percent of the time, and I want and like really keep tailoring it until it becomes a real world.
Well, but he like waves that off by saying, I would know or something like that. And it's like, no, that's how it is now. It isn't like, what do you mean you would know that it's Pip making you lose that time instead of what? No, it's the same.
I don't understand. Like,
what are you doing?
I don't understand why you'd even play a game though, especially a game of chance for money, when you can just snap your fingers and have money, and you live in a world where money might as well not even exist, because you can have anything you want all the time. That's why he got bored, because he's an idiot.
He is definitely an idiot.
Yeah. You have any buttons for this episode?
My button was the Bruce Campbell thing, so I blew
blew your button
out of the thing. I do have a very boring button. I try to end on the most boring note. Perfect. So I think earlier in this video series, I mentioned like the phrase "the other place" or whatever.
Yeah. And I can't say hell.
And I think I was totally wrong. I'm not sure if I was wrong. So like, it's been a fun journey, because I was sure that like there was a the other place episode, and I kind of thought we already got to it, but we didn't, right? Because there was that episode early on where the guy becomes like an unstoppable immortal beast from like whatever, but the guy literally says, "Well, I'm the devil, you see," or whatever the fuck, and I was like, oh, I guess they can say stuff. So I'm not sure if I made this up in my head or if it's real, and I refuse to research it to find out. But I think on a podcast I heard someone say there's like a documentary or like a feature thing called The Other Place, which is about the standards and practices and like the history of all that fuckery. So I hope there is one, and if there's not, I hope they make one, because I do want to, like, that's a fascinating time, because apparently before a certain time, we had movies and shit, but we didn't have standards or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Fuck. Right? They're like, in those old samurai and, like, cowboy movies, horses would die. That's why they have all that, no animals were harmed in the making of this thing. Because you watch old, like, black and white movies, and you're like, damn, that's crazy, that battle. And it's like, they killed, like, 70 horses in that battle. And you're like, holy fuck, wait, what? I'm watching horses die? But it's like classic cinema, so they get like grandfathered in or something like that. That's fucking crazy.
Alright guys, so that was this episode of Twilight Zone. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.